What's up, everybody, and welcome to all my newbies. This is Marnicia, the owner of Many Voice Outreach and the host of this podcast, Many Voice. Thanks for tuning in to the place where my words aim to uplift, motivate, and push you right where you are. Yes, even when you don't want to hear it. So don't just listen with your ears, but listen with your heart. Because when I'm helping you, I'm helping me as well. Let's get to it. We've got work to do. Hey y'all, it's Thursday, it's podcast time. I just want to come to you all and speak to you all about unpopular but necessary. Unpopular but necessary. Last night, I was thinking about some things. There were some things in my spirit, and this morning when I got up, I got in this conference this morning, and I was so excited about the information that they were giving because it went hand in hand with what I was thinking about yesterday, what was in my spirit yesterday. And not just yesterday, I've also felt this way several other times. It was in my spirit, but this morning it's just like, thank you, God. Like, you know, I was excited about the information, but I just want to share this nugget with you all. And they said that you have to be careful. We have to be careful who we're connected to, because oftentimes we tend to replicate what's modeled for us. That's so good. Oftentimes we tend to replicate what's modeled for us. Have you ever seen somebody or heard somebody who tries to justify all the wrong that somebody does? Like, we all know that we fall short and we mess up, but you cannot justify that mess up. Even when I fall short and I mess up, I have a problem with me messing up. So, not only should we have a problem with the way others handle certain things, and when I say about have a problem, I'm not saying kick them and tear them down and, you know, stuff like that. I'm not saying have that type of problem, but what I'm saying is we should disapprove, because I disapprove when I do wrong. I'm convicted when I do wrong. I'm convicted when I fall short, and I know that I need to get myself together. So I'm hard on myself. I'm just as hard on myself as when I'm seeing somebody else do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing. I'm able to be real enough with myself and say, you need to get yourself together. You need to pick yourself up. You need to fix this about you. You need to adjust this about you. And this is why it's very important that we tend to have those self-checks daily, and not the self-checks where you tell yourself that what feels good to you, but those self-checks where you're able to be real with yourself. You're able to rebuke yourself. You're able to put yourself in your place, because like they stated, we just have to be careful. Now in this season, well, first let me say this, there are a lot of us who have been set apart. And those of us who have been set apart, a lot of times we get tired of feeling like we're misunderstood. We get tired of feeling like people are passing judgment, not even feeling like, we get tired of people passing judgment on us and saying we think we this, we think we that, we think we all of this. And they're saying this because of the mentality that we possess. They're saying this because of the spirit that we possess. They're saying this because we're not those who are set apart, that just because we're set apart, but we tend to see things not only naturally but spiritually as well. So they pass the judgment, and they think that we think we all of this because we know and we understand this and we understand that. But let me tell you that set apart is not popular, but it's very much so necessary. So in this season, I've been telling myself, I don't want to be connected to people who don't understand things spiritually. I don't want to be connected to people who can't see things spiritually. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not able to push you. I'm not able to motivate you. I'm not able to love on you. I'm not able to have a conversation with you. I'm not able to be cordial with you. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, I don't want to be connected to somebody who goes against what God says or where I'm trying to go. Because I'm not willing to be okay with what we do that's like out of order, because I'm not even okay with me being out of order, because I mess up, I fall short, I miss the mark. Because I'm human, I do. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I do everything right. But what I'm saying is when I fall, I get back up and I make sure that I put myself in position to where when I get back up, I'm not only up, but I'm up and I'm able to swing harder than I swung before when I fell. Because if you're not learning from your fall, what truly is a fall? There's supposed to be gain in the fall. There's supposed to be knowledge in the fall. There's supposed to be strength in the fall. There's supposed to be wisdom in the fall. The fall happens for a reason. So we can learn to stand. We can learn to walk. We can learn to stop tripping up. Because I don't want to be that individual that continues to trip up. I don't want to be that individual that continues to fall knowingly. But I'm going to fight to stand. I'm going to fight to walk. I'm going to fight to be right. I'm going to fight to do right. I'm going to fight to make sure that my spirit is in check. And I get so passionate about this because there's nothing I truly desire more than just being right, y'all. And if you're not somebody that desires to be right, desires to do right, then something is wrong with you. And I never asked anybody to share this podcast, but if anywhere in this podcast, if it hits you, make sure you share this. Because like I said, unpopular but necessary. This lifestyle is unpopular but necessary. Discipline is unpopular but necessary. Self-control is unpopular but necessary. Getting control over our flesh is unpopular but it's necessary. Rebuking ourselves, unpopular but necessary. Putting this mind in check, unpopular but necessary, because be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. That means that our old mentality will not work. It won't work, y'all. It just won't work. Because without discipline, we are nothing. Without self-control, we are nothing. Have you ever saw somebody that tries to just justify the wrong that people does? And when you have a role model that straddles the fence, when you have somebody that you look up to that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up living a lifestyle that consists of you having 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that consists of you straddling the fence. But me, I'm not trying to look up to nobody that's straddling the fence. This doesn't discredit you. This doesn't mean that you're not a good person. This doesn't mean that God cannot use you. This does not mean any of that. It just means that where I'm headed, you're not capable of getting me there. This don't mean that you don't have good information. This does not mean that you can't pour into me. You can be capable of pouring to me, but where I'm headed and where I need to go, you can't be that model for me. Because I'm seeing you be of the world. I'm seeing you straddle the fence. And if straddling the fence is already something that I'm doing, I need somebody that does the opposite of what I do. This don't mean that that somebody is perfect, but this just means that that somebody is where I'm trying to get to. If I'm not trying to straddle the fence anymore, I don't need to look up to somebody that straddle the fence. If I'm trying to shake myself from being so wild, I don't need to have a role model that's wild. If I'm trying to be delivered from sex or drugs or whether it's alcohol, weed, or whatever, I don't want my role model to be somebody that has to have weed, somebody that has to have alcohol, somebody that has to have sex. If you're trying to be delivered from it, you really have to be stripped from it. This means that there has to be a season of isolation. You can't look up to somebody that's still in what you're in. Yes, you can be inspired by them. You can be influenced by them, by some of the things they may do or some of the ways they may have. But if they're still enjoying the very things that you're trying to shake, they don't have discipline in your weak areas, they can't be that role model for you. They can't be that hand for you. Because in order for us to help people come out, we have to already be out. This is very unpopular but necessary. This lifestyle is very unpopular but necessary. It is. It is. And I know and understand that we will fall. I know and understand that we will miss the mark. I know and understand that we may not always get everything right, but I also know and understand that with God anything is possible. And you truly can tell when a person is having time with God. You really can tell when an individual is spending time with God, because this moment that you're seeing me in right now, I didn't just wake up and say I want to be right. I've always desired to be right. I've had to fall. I have to backslide. I had to miss the mark. I had to mess up. I've had to compromise. I've done all of these things. I had to do all of these things in order to get tired. And when you get tired the first time, I just want to let you know that won't be the first time you're tired, because you're going to get tired and you're going to fall and then you're going to get back up. And you may get tired and you're going to fall and you're going to get back up. Because we're born in sin. So it's truly a process. So I've been wanting to be right. I've been desiring to be better. I've been desiring to do better. But every time I've fallen, and I'm truly able to say I thank God for the falls, because every single time I've fallen, I've gained a strength that I didn't have before. Every single time I've fallen, I've gained wisdom that I didn't possess before. Every single time I've fallen, God has allowed me to be elevated, because not only did I fall, but what was important was what I did in the fall. What I did with my fall. How I made my fall beneficial for me. How are you making your fall beneficial for you? Because if you're falling and you're getting back up and you're doing the same thing, and you're not stripping yourself slowly but surely, your fall is in vain in this moment. And the reason I say in this moment is because there is purpose in every fall. But if you've yet to discover your purpose in that fall right now momentarily is in vain. Because you've done nothing with it in order to see what you can gain from it. This lifestyle is unpopular, but it's necessary. And I thank God for the fall. And a lot of times, like I said, we can discern when people feel like, oh, we think we know it all. We think we this. We think we that. We're no better than the next person. We truly aren't any better than anybody. But we can discern it and say nothing. Just like my shirt. And I didn't even intentionally wear this shirt, but I'm silent. I'm not stupid. I'm silent. I'm not stupid. We don't think we're better than the next person. We don't think we know better than the next person, but we're human just like everybody else. But the difference between us is, even when the human side of us get the best of us, we understand that our spirit has to overpower that natural person, that natural man. So that's what we're striving to defeat. We're not striving to look better than anybody else. We're not striving to make it seem like we got it together more than the next person, or try to be more popular than the next person, or competing. We're not competing with anyone. But we're focused on defeating that natural man. So in this season, I told myself, look, I don't want to be connected to nobody that don't understand the spiritual. I don't want to be connected to anybody that is really not striving to go to the next level. Because with our mouths, we say a lot of stuff. With our mouths, we say anything, but our actions say a lot. You want to know something? yesterday, like I said, I was thinking about some things yesterday. In the Bible, Jesus said, he told us, if we deny him before men, he will deny us before his Father. And it was so much I got from it. And I didn't just see it as, oh, you won't make it to heaven. Because that's what that means. Yeah, it does. But I also dug into what he meant by denying him before men. Because there may be some people who verbally think, who think this means to just verbally say, I don't believe in God. I don't think this is just a verbal thing, because with our mouths we can say one thing, but our actions can be saying another. I think this means we don't only deny him with our mouths, but we deny him with our actions. Because people should be able to see the God in us. Even when the God is not in our actions, the God should be in our hearts. And this is why I think the Bible speaks about God sees the heart of the person. Because in the heart is where our truth lies. And what's in the heart is going to show up on the outside. So we have to be able to understand that a person is human. Yes, we understand that a person is human, but there's a difference between battling with something and enjoying and wallowing in something. I've enjoyed some things. I've waddled in some things, but I've also battled with some things. I've battled with certain emotions that allow me to fall short in certain areas. That doesn't mean I enjoyed it because I was battling with it. It just meant that I needed to be before God a little more. It just meant that I needed to dig within myself just a little more. But not only a little more, this is a daily thing, y'all. And I'm just so passionate about this because, who cannot want to be right? Who cannot want to get it right? How do we wake up every single day of our lives and our only focus is the worldly things? How do we do this? How do we wake up and we be okay with just being about money, being about men, being about women, being about clubbing, being about fun, being about clocking into somebody else's job, even being about just our own business that produces money? But it's bigger than that. It's more than that. We hear enough about the cars. We hear enough about the money. We hear enough about the houses. We hear enough about all of that material gain, materialistic gain. But what about our souls? What about our souls? Are we caring about them? Are the people we're connected to caring about them? It's not okay. It's not okay. How we live is not okay. How we act is not okay. The way we talk is not okay. And I don't know if I shared this yet, but I don't think I shared the reason behind why I stopped cursing, why I stopped drinking. It wasn't because I wanted to sound better than somebody else or sound like I got it together more than the next person. It was because God had already been dealing with me. God had already been placing this in my heart. And it's also because I understood that we cannot allow our good to be evil spoken of. There are some people who may hear me cursing or who may see me drinking that will not be able to separate the fact that I'm a natural being but still a chosen vessel. It's some people that won't be able to separate the two, so they'll put the two together, and I may lead somebody astray. I may confuse somebody. I may make somebody feel like, oh, I don't want to follow the God that she follows because if this is what she's doing while following the God that she's followed, then she's not a fit for me. I don't want to distract them and make them feel like that something is wrong with my God because I'm a being that's messing up or falling short. So you have to be careful with those who are hungry and desperate for answers, and those who are seeking after God and they're looking for somebody to help them, to help shape and mold them. We have to be real careful because these people are looking at us. For some people, we are the only church that they see. For some people, we are the only church that they hear. So I understood these things. I understood that I could not allow my good to be seen as bad. I could not allow people to see me doing the wrong things and they're able to speak badly about me and about what I'm supposed to be a representation of, who I'm supposed to be a representation of. I couldn't allow it. I also understood that where much is given, much is required. And until we can fully understand these things and grasp these things, we won't be able to strip ourselves of the things that God is trying to tear away from us. Yes, I understand you're human. Yes, I understand you like to have fun. Yes, I understand you want to turn up. But baby, is that turn up really worth it? I had a friend to ask me, friend, I know you made some changes. Is there a certain way that I need to act now? Or how do I need to be in your presence? And I told my friend, be yourself. Be yourself. Because one thing for sure and two things for certain, you cannot pressure anybody to make change. It's just because God is dealing with you at the moment. Everybody have their own process. So when it's your friend's turn or your cousin's turn or your boyfriend's turn or whoever, when it's their time to have that time with God, God will do what he needs to do with them. But right now in this moment, it's not about the people you're surrounded by. It's about you. So stop trying to make people make changes just because you're making changes. Stop treating people differently because you don't do the things that you once did. Never forget where you came from. Don't have a requirement of a person that you just grab hold to yourself. Allow people to be themselves. Allow people to go through their seasons. And when it's their time, God will bring them out. Your process is not like the next person's process. Because what God may be requiring for you in this moment and in this season, he may not need the next person for it. So let people be. You have to learn to let people be, but you also have to understand who you can be connected to. Man, y'all, this lifestyle is unpopular, but it's necessary. And in this season, I'm needing God. I'm needing people to be connected to me that want God just as much as I do. I'm needing people to be connected to me who's desiring change as much as I do. I'm needing people to be who connected to me. I need people to be connected to me. Who's not only speaking with their mouths, but they're allowing their actions to speak as well. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. It really is. You know what they say about empty cans that make a lot of noise. I don't want to be an empty can. I want to make sure I'm filled up, and not filled up with myself, not filled up with pride, not filled up with worldly things, not filled up with worldly intentions and motives, but filled up with God. And the things that he's asking of me, the things that he's requiring of me, the ways he's desiring for me to possess. Filled up with the wisdom, filled up with what I need in order to be who God is needing me to be and calling me to be. So remember that I got 7 minutes. So remember that we have to be careful with who we're connected to, because oftentimes we tend to adopt their mentality. We adopt their actions because we look up to them so much. And it's not okay. You got to get in a place to where you understand, yes, I know this person is human. I know this person will mess up. I know and I understand all of this, but I'm needing more. I'm needing more. I'm needing to look up to somebody more. Somebody that has more discipline. I'm needing to look up to somebody that has more wisdom. I'm needing to look up to somebody that has more than what I have. I'm needing to look up to somebody that's on a higher level than what I'm on. Not only naturally, but spiritually, mentally. I'm needing more. Because I can't settle for this level. Why would we settle for level 1 when God is calling us to level 5? I can't, if there's no conviction behind our wrong, then our heart is not in the right place. Our postures are not right. And I'm not speaking of conviction where, oh, I feel bad, I shouldn't have did it, and you gonna do it again. Easily do it again. Because I'm not saying you're going to be convicted and, oh, everything is good forever. I'm not saying it. But what I'm saying is behind that conviction, it should bring about a change. Behind that conviction, something should happen here. Something should happen here. Because yes, you may fall again, but it may be like 5 years on down the line. It may be like 7 years on down the line. We can't stay in this place, y'all. Because if we deny before men, we'll be denied before the Father. And remember, that deny is just not in your mouth. It's not just what you speak. But that denies in your actions. So until next time, y'all, I hope this helped. If it helped, share it with somebody else. Share the podcast, y'all. Like I said, I never asked, but I think this is needed. I think this is vital information. So share with your friends, share with your family, share on your page, share wherever. If you don't desire to be in that same place you're in and do the same things you do and possess the same ways that you possess, share it. Because we are a team, we are a unit. And we're all here to do the works of the kingdom, basically. We're doing kingdom work. We're about God's business, and He'll take care of our business. Because we got to get tired. I'm tired. We just got to grow tired. And until next week, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.